Welcome back everyone. Today we'll be beginning with session 6 of the week 5 of the course Retail Marketing Strategy. As far as this week is concerned, once we are done, I'm very sure you will have enhanced perspectives about the strategic retail planning process and also about the growth strategies which a retailer can adopt in order to take his business or establishment to the next level. Along with that, we are again back with our two exciting elements, which is extra fodder for thought and learning something new. As far as this particular session is concerned, in context of extra fodder for thought, I'll be sharing some intricate details about EatQual and with which brand this is associated with. For now, we'll keep it as a mystery. We'll also be learning what does mystery shopping actually means. Now, when we look at the facets of strategic retail planning process, it precisely starts with defining the business mission, then conducting a SWOT analysis, then moving forward with respect to identifying strategic opportunities. Then we do an evaluation of the strategic opportunities in order to pick up the best route for a retailer, and then eventually we establish objectives and also allocate resources in order to achieve these objectives. As far as objectives and allocation of resources is concerned, we also pinpoint the time frame which would be required to kind of achieve these objectives, right? And then on the basis of that, we also frame retail mix, in which we'll again be looking at a lot of facets. What is the format which a retailer wants to adopt? What is the kind of merchandise and variety which will be offered to the prospective customers? How the promotion would be designed, how store management would happen, and how merchandise management would be done. Then eventually we evaluate whether we are in the path of achieving our objectives, or if there are any deviations, adjust for them, and we take the right course of action. So as we move further, we'll be first understanding the concept of a business mission. So if you remember, as far as the concept of business mission is concerned, we have slightly discussed about this earlier also. So to be very precise, a business mission usually answers why does a business exist. This is more like understanding what is it that the business is trying to achieve. Or in other words, you can also say what are the consumer problems that a particular business is trying to solve. Right. So these are a few facets in which you can actually understand a business mission. And eventually, even a business mission is about defining a retailer's objectives and the scope of activities that it will be undertaking. For example, a retailer, as far as its business mission is concerned, might clearly kind of indicate that they'll be only catering online, or they'll be only operating online. So this anyway restricts the scope of activities that they might be having. But this is something which is not going to be like very restricted. If as they move forward, they see that the business can flourish a lot more faster if they can even add a physical or a brick and mortar channel, then this change can definitely be done, because the key eventually lies in flexibility, and that is again one of the important things which a retailer needs to have in order to grow and take their establishment to the next level. So if you look at a business mission, precisely we can say it is about answering these 5 questions. What business are we in? The next is, what should our business be in future? Now this can also have an element of vision, in which we are trying to see where an organization or a retail establishment wants to see itself in future, and that again gets aligned with what is the kind of business that we'll be doing in future, right? Apart from this, who are our customers? What are the customer problems that we'll be solving? Who is going to be our target market? I'll again give you the same example. If you talk about, let's say, Nature's Basket and D-Mart, their customers to an extent are entirely different. Only those people are going to D-Mart who are looking for, let's say, more of discounts and daily savings when they go and shop groceries. Whereas if you look at Nature's Basket, the clientele is more going to be about people who are looking towards accessing the best of groceries or exotic fruits and vegetables from different countries. So in ways their customers are different. That's why when we look at the perspective of who are our customers, we are trying to indicate who is going to be our target market. Apart from that, we also see what are our capabilities, because it is best for a retailer to kind of operate in those areas in which they have better capabilities, or they are much superior as compared to the competitors. Now this can be on the basis of the raw material or technology, or also on the basis of, let's say, committed human resources that you Might have. Last is what is it that we are trying to accomplish, right? So these are basically 5 questions that a retailer must answer as far as their business mission or the purpose of existence, to put it in a different way, is concerned. So see, when you talk about business mission, definitely the choice of words is going to have a different impact or might indicate a different meaning to the customers. It might even appear as if the retailer is trying to do much more than simply going beyond the basic deliverables. Let's say if you are talking about any retail establishment who is basically into the business of communication. Now their business mission might simply state, we are in the business of facilitating communication. Or in other words, it might state, we are in the business where we want to make sure that our customers communicate without barriers. We want to make their life easier or empower customers to stay connected. Now, if you compare both these, there is a lot more that can be communicated if we go by the second option, and that is precisely happening on the fact that it appears to be more like that a retailer is trying to go beyond the basic deliverables and is trying to contribute much more than the basic minimum required. Now, as far as this particular thing is concerned, we'll be looking at the business mission of a few retailers. So now firstly look at WhatsApp. We all know that WhatsApp has become an inherent part of our lives and how we use it on day-to-day basis. So let's look at their mission. WhatsApp started as an alternative to SMS. Our product now supports sending and receiving a variety of media, text, photos, videos, documents and location, as well as video calls. Some of your most personal moments are shared with WhatsApp. That is why we built end-to-end encryption into our app. Now end-to-end encryption definitely indicates the facet of security which is being indicated to the customers that their chats are completely secured, right? Now finally, if you see, behind every product decision is our desire to let people communicate anywhere in the world without barriers. Now if you kindly hold on to these 3 words, every product decision, right, this definitely indicates the essence of product sense, which means whatever products they are trying to come up with, they are always going to make sure or understand why a product would work and why a product would not work, which eventually captures the essence of product sense, right? And they are trying to understand this from the perspective of consumers with the whole objective of making their life much more easier or remove barriers so that they can communicate with anyone and everyone in the world. So that's how business mission should be. It should communicate much more than the basic deliverables which might be kind of fulfilling the needs of the customers. Now let's look at the mission statement of Tesco. We make what matters better together. Now even if you look at their core purpose and values, it is about serving our customers, communities and planet a little better every day. Serving our customers, community and planet a little better every day means we keep customers at the heart of what we do, while also reflecting our responsibilities to the communities we serve, to society more broadly. So this clearly indicates that whatever decisions they are being taken by Tesco, they always bring the customers to the fulcrum and they try to understand what is going to be the impact of each and every decision they take on customers. But if you look at precisely at their mission statement, it anyway indicates that whatever they are trying to do, they make sure that they do it better, and that too together with the customers. So as far as this is concerned, we'll be looking at a small video which has been officially derived from the channel of Tesco News. It will give you a perspective of their values, which will also somehow indicate how they are trying to achieve their mission, which is all about we make what matters better together.
Our core purpose, we make what matters better together, is a clear and simple statement of what we do and what we stand for. Our 3 values help us understand how we put this into practice. No one tries harder for customers. Understanding customers, colleagues, communities, and what matters to them, and trying to make those things better, is at the heart of Tesco. We treat people how they want to be treated. No matter who we work with, a culture of trust and respect is essential to the success of Tesco. Our 3rd value is we use our scale for good. Touching millions of people's lives every day, our scale gives us an opportunity to make a positive difference to some of the biggest challenges facing the world, such as providing opportunities for young people, tackling food waste, and improving health. We make what matters better together. Now
as we move forward, we'll also be looking at the mission of Decathlon. Now let's look at this. Our purpose to be useful to people. At Decathlon, we are accomplished sportsmen and women and we love sport. We dream of sharing this enthusiasm with the largest possible number of people. Everything we do centers around the end user. Now this also indicates that they are trying to bring the customer to the fulcrum or at the center stage, and this in a way also captures the essence of customer centricity, where whatever decisions are being taken or whatever experiences they are trying to offer to customer will also be looked at from the perspective of the fact if they are adding value to the customers or they are trying to cause any kind of, let's say, dissatisfaction or inconvenience to them, right? So the company's mission is to sustainably make the pleasure and benefit of sport accessible to the many. So in this case, the whole objective is to make sure that many people can access their products. So if you have not visited Decathlon and you visit it sometime, you will be able to see that their prices are very much cost friendly or customers friendly, right? That's why this particular essence of making sports accessible to many is definitely being captured through their pricing policy as well. Now as we move further, you can also look at the mission of Cafe Coffee Day, which is about, our mission is a simple one, to be best cafe chain by offering a world class coffee experience at affordable prices. Now this in ways, while on the one hand indicates that we are in the business of giving you best of the coffee experiences, that too at affordable prices. That's how, if you compare their target market vis-a-vis, let's say, Starbucks, it is entirely different, right? Now finally we'll be looking at the mission of McDonald's, which is about making delicious feel good moments easy for everyone. This is how we uniquely feed and foster communities. We serve delicious food people feel good about eating, with convenient locations and hours and affordable prices, and by working hard to offer the speed, choice and personalization our customers expect. At our best, we don't just serve food, we serve the moments of feel good, all with light-hearted, unpretentious, welcoming, dependable personalities consumers know and love. Now with respect to McDonald's, definitely there is something special for you. At one point of time they came up with a familiarity test in which you will see the person who was taking orders would ask questions to the people who have come together, maybe could be, let's say, a couple or some friends who have come together, or could be family members. So they asked them a few questions in which they were trying to identify if both the people, let's say if there are two people, they know each other well, then they would give them their order and would also say that you should spend some more time in McDonald's and you should get to know each other, and this also captures the essence of creating feel good moments of people. So we'll be looking at this video, and this has been officially derived from the YouTube channel of McDonald's India.
Before I give you order, can I ask you a question? How well do you guys know each other?
How well do you guys know each other?
Pretty well. Yeah. Pretty well.
Yeah.
We've been studying together 2 years
For
now.
2 years.
We actually met at a New Year party 2 years ago, and then we are dating since then.
Ah, he's my son. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite film? It has to be one romantic one.
Devil Wears Prada.
Come on, no. That's wrong. Absolutely wrong.
I think she likes the sitcom Game of Thrones movie. I don't know.
No. Absolutely not.
What's his favorite band?
This is One Direction.
Coldplay.
No.
When is his birthday?
I don't know it.
No, I know it. It is February this month, okay?
No.
What's his favorite teacher's name?
Miss Nana?
Was.
Oz. You know what, guys? You need to spend thoda time और with each other.
You need to spend thoda time or with each other.
Maybe you should spend thoda time out with each other.
Please, Maharaja Mac, RMS.
Thank you. Here it goes. It's on us.
Thank you.
Now once you have understood the context of business mission, another thing which is done is about doing a situation audit. Now, if you look at it very technically, it is about doing an analysis of the threats and opportunities in the retail environment in conjunction with the strengths and weaknesses of a retail business relative to its competitors. See, whenever you are talking about strength and weaknesses, it is always going to be relative to the competitors, right? Strength means there is something in which you are much better than your competitors. Now, this could be related to management capability, financial resources, or the human resources that you might have, or operational efficiency that you might have achieved. And weakness is something in which you need to work upon, and your competitors could be better than you. Now, if we try understanding threat and opportunities, threat simply indicates the challenge posed by an unfavorable trend, and in the absence of any defensive action, it might lead to lower profits or might decrease our sales. Whereas an opportunity is an area of buyer need which a retailer can satisfy, most probably can satisfy profitability, right? So I am again repeating it, whenever you are talking about a situation audit, what you are trying to do is you are trying to take an account of the present situation relating to the environment in which a retailer operates. Along with that, you are also trying to make an analysis of the threat and opportunities that exist in the environment in conjunction with the strengths and weaknesses that a retailer has, that too in comparison with the competitors. See, a retailer might see opportunities in the environment, right? But if they don't have the strength to kind of capitalize on them, then also it is going to be futile, or they might end up making losses because the competitor that has core strength as compared to the particular retailer in context, they might be able to do it much better and kind of capture the markets, right? So as I was telling you, opportunity is an area of buyer need and interest that a company has the probability of satisfying profitability. But even with respect to opportunity, there are two key factors that you need to understand. One is dependent upon success probability and attractiveness. So opportunities is going to have much more theft when it is attractive, which means you will be able to make more profits out of it or to command a loyal customer base. But what is the probability of success, which means how much successfully you can kind of capitalize on this opportunity. Now this again gets linked with the strength that you might have. Now on similar lines, a threat is again impacted by seriousness and probability of occurrence. Now this simply indicates that first you need to see what is the probability of occurrence of this particular threat and how much impact it can have in your organization. So in a way, it also indicates that you need to prioritize over those threats which you think will have very high probability of occurrence and are too serious for you. Let's say threat which is too much serious for a retail establishment, but the probability of occurrence is very, very low. Now vis-a-vis, there could be a threat where the seriousness is moderate but the probability of occurrence is very high. So now a retailer has to take the call which one they would be prioritizing. It would be rather better to kind of combat for those situations where the probability of occurrence is high, right? Now along with this, the essence of a situation audit also lies in understanding the market factors, where we precisely look at the size of the market, the chances of growth, the seasonality and business cycles. Along with that, we also look at competitive factors in which we take account of barriers to entry, bargaining power of vendors and competitive rivalry, along with environmental factors in which we make an assessment of the technological, economic, regulatory and social factors that can have an impact on a retail establishment, or to put it in a different way, which can impact the growth, success or failure of a retail establishment. Along with this, we also make an analysis of the strengths and weaknesses which a retailer might have. Now this can be aligned with the management capabilities, financial resources, the location advantage which a retailer might have. If you remember, while we were discussing about the sustainable competitive advantage, location was considered as one of the factors which can indeed provide sustainable competitive advantage, simply because it is difficult for others to copy it. And along with this, for many product categories or many service categories, you will see people coming to that particular retailer who is near to them, right? As in case of groceries that we had discussed. Along with this, you might also have merchandise as a part of your strength if you are offering something exclusive. And otherwise, the strength can also come from managing store in the best possible ways and achieving operational efficiencies and through customer loyalty. Now with respect to customer loyalty, in the last session we indeed have had a very fruitful discussion about it, right? So whenever you are looking at market factors, you actually try to understand the consumers and their buying patterns. Along with that you also try to make an assessment of the target market size, right? Now whenever you are talking about the market size, it actually indicates the opportunity to generate revenues to cover the investment which a retailer is going to make. Now let's say you might have a business idea or an opportunity that you see, but the size of the market it actually accomplishes is very small and you might not be able to make profits out of it. So in ways it is not going to make much of sense. Along with that, it also becomes important to identify what are the economic conditions that might impact a particular retailer. Now those markets or domains are considered to be less attractive, where the impact of economic conditions is going to be very acute vis-a-vis those which might not have that much impact. Like let's say food or education industry, even if there is a recession, you will see people spending on food and education. Whereas when it comes to luxuries, if there is a recession, as far as economic conditions are concerned, you will see people, they will not be spending that much on luxuries or entertainment, but will be saving and then spending it on food or education or particularly necessities or essentials. Along with this, as far as market factors are concerned, we also need to check for the seasonality, right? So those retail domains or maybe let's say markets which are highly seasonal are indeed considered to be very unattractive, because a lot of resources are needed to accommodate peak seasons, whereas the resources are definitely going to be underutilized in remaining period. Now let's say consider the business of a retail establishment which is selling woolens. They are only going to have business in winter season, which anyway makes it very seasonal, right? Along with that, if you consider the market of umbrellas, they will be selling a lot more when it comes to monsoon, otherwise they might not be selling that much. Again, this business becomes seasonal. So the context lies in, or the crux lies in understanding that those retail markets are going to be more attractive which don't have the element or very acute element of being very highly seasonal, right? So along with this, as a part of situation audit, we also make an assessment of the competitive factors, which also in ways also takes account of the fact how competitors are behaving with each other, which technically indicates competitive rivalry, which means what is going to be the frequency and intensity of actions undertaken by competitors. Now let's say a particular retailer is decreasing the prices. If the competition is very high and you see very acute competition or cutthroat competition between various retailers, if one decreases the prices, the others will also do so, eventually leading to the price wars and kind of impacting each and every retailer in terms of profitability, right? So if each and everyone is decreasing prices as a part of the price war which has just erupted between retailers, their level of profitability is definitely going to take a dip. Along with that, we also take an account of barriers to entry and exit. Those markets are considered to be more attractive which have high barriers to entry but low barriers to exit. Now low barriers to exit becomes important because those retailers will leave the market who can't compete. Let's say if there is a situation in which even the barriers to exit are very high. Now just imagine, they won't be in a position to leave and then again the price wars would erupt and they would start impacting each other in negative ways, right? Whereas when there are high barriers to entry, it kind of indicates a space in which the retailers, those who can actually survive, will be able to flourish, right? A few will enter and they'll rule the market and they'll flourish. And again in the same situation, when there are low barriers to exit, those who will not be able to survive will eventually leave. Now what are the various sources of barriers that a retail establishment can have? Scale economies. Now this basically comes from the account of retailer size. Let's say if you have a retailer who is kind of manufacturing on a very large scale or on a very large basis, you can just imagine the benefits they might bring in. The cost of the products would get down, their profitability is definitely going to increase. Even when it comes to suppliers or the people that they are taking raw materials from, they'll also be able to negotiate better with them, right? Along with that, the bargaining power of vendors can also provide barriers to entry. See, now bargaining power of vendors means if you have a market in which you have only few vendors who are controlling the merchandise sold, then definitely it is going to be very unattractive, right? Because they will be commanding what is the price that they can charge. They will also be commanding the terms of negotiations, which eventually makes this particular market very unattractive, right? So these are a few factors which we need to understand as far as the context of competitive factors is concerned. Now when you go a little more broader and you consider the facets of, let's say, numerous environmental aspects, whether it is economic environment, social environment or consumer related factors, technological environment or regulatory concerns. These are the three key issues which a retailer needs to address. First is what new developments or changes might occur, such as new technologies, regulations or different social factors and economic conditions. Now the next question which a retailer needs to ask itself is what is the likelihood that these environmental changes will occur and what key factors affect whether these changes will occur. Now this is all about making an assessment of the fact if there is going to be a seriousness of the threat that might occur and what is the probability of its occurrence. Now if you look at it from the perspective of opportunities, you will be making an assessment of the attractiveness of the opportunities and what are the resources that you have to capitalize on these opportunities. And finally, a retailer should ask itself how will these changes affect each retail market, the firm and its competitors. Now the context of competition in this case also becomes important because that is also again going to impact you. You might see a competitor who has a lot of money power or let's say is always on toes with respect to technology. So if things change, consumer preferences change, technology change, you might see that they are able to better adapt to these changing conditions, making them more sustainable, more established in the particular markets, right? So along with this, you also do a strength and weakness analysis. So this is indeed a critical part of situation audit in which a retailer actually determines its unique capabilities, its strength and weaknesses related to a competitors. Now strength definitely indicates something in which a particular retailer could be better than its competitors. Now this can be understood from the perspective of the committed retail workforce that they might have, access to some exclusive raw material or maybe let's say some exclusive agreements in which they are getting some exclusive merchandise which only they can sell. This can be considered as a part of strength. Now when you look at weaknesses, it actually indicates something in which your competitors are better than you and you need to work upon. Now you can also use the analogy of poor, good and excellent as far as indicating strength and weaknesses is concerned. Now strengths and weaknesses are definitely going to be a double-edged sword and they can eventually come from all these facets: management capability, financial resources, merchandise capabilities, location, customers and operational efficiency. So this is how it works. When you look at management capability, it is all about the capabilities and experience of top management. What is the strategic direction that they can provide to an organization, how they can better gauge how the environment is going to change and then adjusting to that. Depth of management capabilities of middle management and management's commitment to the firm. Now when you talk about financial resources, it is about cash flow from existing businesses. Now when it is high, it is going to be a strength and when it is very low, it is going to be a weakness. Ability to raise debt or equity financing. Now this again is going to be a strength and weaknesses both. If you have very high ability, it is going to be a strength, and when you are not in a position to raise funds which you might require for let's say setting up more of retail offices or more of stores or joints in any context of a retail establishment, then this again is going to be a weakness. Now when you talk about it from the context of operations, it will actually encompass overhead cost structures, quality of operating systems, distribution capabilities, management information systems. Now if you have a very robust management systems can actually provide you marketing intelligence information, or it helps you make analysis of how things are changing, how consumers are buying in different retail outlets in different locations, then this indeed is going to be a strength. Loss prevention systems and inventory control systems. Inventory control systems likewise, if they help you better manage your inventory and kind of avoid the situations of understocking or overstocking, then this again is going to be a strength. Now when you look at the aspect of merchandise capabilities, we precisely check out on the facets of knowledge and skills of buyers. Now knowledge and skills of buyers here simply takes account of the facets of your in-house team who is taking decisions with respect to what merchandise would be stored in retail stores and would be sold to customers. As far as the private label brands are concerned, we have definitely discussed how they can provide sustainable competitive advantage to a retailer and can also give a huge push to the loyalty. Then advertising and promotional capabilities. Then finally, if you look at store management capabilities, we precisely see management capabilities, quality of sales associate and their commitment to the firm. Then locations, attractiveness of locations, and finally when you look at customers, loyalty of customers indeed is going to be a very huge strength, because you precisely know that even if the competitors are offering them incremental benefits, your customers will not be moving to them. As far as this particular module was concerned, I really hope that you got an idea about business mission and why it matters. Along with that, I am also hopeful that you got an enhanced perspective about situation audit. But as we move forward, we'll be talking a lot more about this in the next session. So wishing you a good day for now, looking forward to meeting you in our next session. And in that particular session, we'll be kind of discussing the another facets of the strategic retail planning process. Along with that, we'll also look at the growth strategies which a retailer can actually adopt. Thanking you for now.